All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Friday afternoon, man. Another matinee edition of Knicks Fan TV Live, presented by Underdog Fantasy. CP the Fanchise here, and on today's episode, we're going to recap and grade the Knicks trade deadline moves. Alec Burks, Bojan Bogdanovic coming through to the orange and blue. Out goes Quentin, Evan Fournier, and the gang. And special guest joining me, man. You guys are seeing him all over MSG. He is a rising comedian in the game, man. He's all over the city from the Comedy Cellar. He's got specials on Netflix. You've seen him on the Late Night Show on Comedy Central. But he's one of our own, man. A diehard Knicks fan. And he is Sam Morril, tapping in with CP the Fanchise. Let's go.
Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to Knicks Fan TV, Sam. How you feeling, man?
I feel great after that trade. I love the move. Leon is you can't give this guy enough credit. He's cooking, man. The Dante deal alone.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are hating on it up top, but this guy looks like I don't want to mess with the starting lineup, so I want him at the 2. And then bringing in Burks, who was one of the only guys to really step up in that Hawks series a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I love that, get some shooting around the guys. We look pretty depleted against the Lakers. And then you bring in Bogdanovic, who's, doesn't really fit our gritty defensive mentality, but he's a great shooter. He's a 20-point-a-game guy. They're probably hungry to play some real basketball coming from Detroit.
Yeah, they got to get out of there, man. Absolutely pumped, man. Now, you sound like an Alec Burks guy like me, man. Were you a Burks guy back in the day? Are you a Burks Hive member?
Look, that 4-seed year was pretty magical. I love that squad. I love Reggie Bullock. I love those guys because it was a team that overachieved. Randle, certainly, we didn't know how great he was. I mean, we knew he had the potential to be a great player, but that year was pretty special. So yeah, I love Alec Burks, and he's a guy who can get his own shot, which is nice. So
for sure, absolutely, and for the Knicks bench, I think it is necessary. I think they needed that experience and an upgrade. Some fans said, McBride's fine. Let's just leave McBride. I just felt like for the playoffs, you're making this stretch run. McBride can certainly get back in a situational fashion, which you need him. He's shooting the ball very well. He's over 40% from 3. Defensively, you can rely on him, but just add some more. You can never have enough talent and depth on your team.
I agree. We don't really have a natural point guard behind Brunson, which worries me. Like I remember when we tried to play Burks at the point one year, Tibbs was doing that, and I was like, dude, what are we doing? Yeah. Not a point guard, great swing man, but and then Deuce is not really a natural point guard either. He's a really good shooter and a really good defender. So that worries me. Just Tibbs' reputation of running dudes into the ground. But look, they built a great team for Tibbs. Yeah. He built the culture. Players wanted to come here. It's Leon and Tibbs and these guys who bought in, like Jalen and Julius and hope it would have been an A+ day if we didn't get the OG Anunoby news. But you got to give Leon credit for keeping that under wraps so a team didn't fleece us, knowing we needed the depth.
For sure.
Shows how good he is.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get to the injury in a second, but I like the fact, just from a deal perspective, Bogdanovic was a guy that was on their radar for a number of years, at least from the trade rumors that you have heard. OG Anunoby was a guy that was on their radar for a number of years, but it just seems like they've now gotten both of these guys at a good price, and they didn't have to give up a first-round pick for either one.
Yeah, that you really said it. Giving up quickly hurt me the most, just because I just loved his game.
Me too.
And obviously, how do you not like RJ Barrett? He wasn't a great fit for Julius and Brunson, and that's who we're building around. And OG is just, he's a game changer. Right? The way he plays, I'm like, dude, I know that Knicks fans, we overreact. Yeah. We get a little too excited sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was a point back in the day when I was like Ronaldo Balkman, Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean? Like we do that. I go crazy. Yeah. I'm like, Eddie Curry, why can't he be, he could compete with Dwight Howard. You buy in. That's part of being a fan. But
for sure.
This team, we don't know what to do with ourselves because it's actually real now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this
you
team
said
could,
it.
if Mitch is healthy, why are we not as good as the Detroit Pistons of '04?
Right.
Brunson is better than Chauncey Billups. I know we don't have a Rip Hamilton. Ben Wallace is obviously like a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. He should be if he's not. But
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson has that type of ceiling, what he can do. Hardenstein is, I mean, we're deeper
I
than
heart.
that team for sure. I mean, they had like, they had like Darko on the bench, they had
Yeah.
like, Rodney Stuckey, right? Or
Yeah,
whoever
Rodney
I don't
Stuckey. He
remember.
was tough. He was tough. They had Stuckey. I think they had Maxiel. Jason Maxiel was on that team. Lindsey Hunter was a problem on that team. Lindsey Hunter
Mehmet Okur was a young guy on that team.
Space and floor, man. And
he was good. He was
yeah,
good.
yeah, but I agree with you, man. I just feel like, and there's a lot of question marks. A lot has to go right in terms of health and getting guys healthy and chemistry and all of that. But I just feel like they have the right mix of star power. You have the clutch factor in Brunson. You have defensive grit with OG and Ihart and Hart, Deuce McBride. You know what I mean? Like you have those guys. Dante's a scrapper. You have defense. You have
Dante
defense
is now
all
up
around.
there with one of the best contracts in the league.
Absolutely.
I can't believe if you're Golden State, don't you feel? I know you can't really. It's an emotional thing, and it's kind of what we love about basketball is you don't trade a guy like Clay or Steph or Draymond, these guys who built this for you. But at a certain point, it's bad for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like the way the Celtics had to part ways. I know it's not the same what the Celtics did to what the Warriors did, but having to part ways with Pierce and Garnett, it was good for the Celtics. It was a good trade for them in the end. But I don't think you can give up Steph for anything the way he's playing. No. I don't think there's a trade in the league you can give up Steph for. But now with Dante gone, I mean, that is a guy next to Steph, the way he's shooting and getting his own shot. Like
a guy they need.
Dropping 30.
Yeah, a guy they could use right now. But you know what's so funny is that, and this is why the thing with sports is so crazy, especially in the NBA, where like luck has a lot to do with it, because you look at back-to-back years where they're able to get Jalen Brunson because Dallas didn't believe in him. They didn't believe he was worth that deal. They had him and Luka there, and the Knicks were so fortunate to get the biggest steal in the game right now. That's the best contract in the game. Yeah. Then you have the following year, this past offseason, Golden State can't afford to keep Dante because they have the second apron and the luxury tax and everything, so guys have to shake out. Here he goes, mid-level exception to the Knicks. Another steal. Easy.
Insane deal. And he's just, like, I knew he was a good player, but I didn't know he was this. My buddy's a Warriors fan. He's like, oh, you're going to love him. It's like, it is that tough thing where, like, it's almost like a breakup where you're like, you tell a Raptors fan, like, enjoy Emmanuel. He's gonna be good to you, It's tough. But, like, I love quickly, so that was tough. But, like, you can't deny, like, they're building – we have a window right now. We have a window where, like, we got to get Randle healthy because, man, he looked great in January. The way he was playing unselfishly, the way he was the less three-pointers when he's bulldozing, and you got Brunson just – I mean, the fact that he's not in everyone's top 10 MVP is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Thank God for Kendrick Perkins, the only Knicks supporter in the media, it seems.
Right.
Because if I have to hear Kenny Smith disrespect us, like, as a New York guy, it's like, what is wrong with you, dude? I love inside the NBA, but, like, why are you taking away? Knicks fans have been held down for so long with just tough teams to root for. And, like, I'm showing up. I'm watching every game still. But, like, okay, do you think I'm, like, thrilled to be watching the Jason Smith years? They're tougher.
Right.
They're tougher years. Like, he was a solid rotation guy, but he's like your starting center, the whatever. We can name tough lineups from the mid-teens for as long as we want. But, I didn't mean to throw shade at one guy, but we watched for so many years of just kind of poorly constructed teams. And now we've kind of cracked the code. It's tough. And the media is like hating on us. We're one of the best fan bases
easily
of any team in any sports.
Hands down.
Because we'll show up no matter what. It reminds me of like the Chicago Cubs or something before they won.
Yeah.
We are going to win a ring in our lifetime. And it's going to be that much sweeter that we watched the bad years. And we got something about it. I know it's like an insane thing to say, and I have no proof to back it up. It's all just a feeling, but like it feels like Brunson is going to bring a championship here.
Let's go. The people in the chat love that, man. Throw some fives in the chat for Sam Morril.
It feels like it, right?
Man. Feels like it. It definitely feels like it. And yeah, those guys. Look, I love Inside the NBA. I'm very entertained by them. They crack me up. I do like the Inside at times, but the Knicks talk is just, that's when I could just watch on mute and just, get to what I'm doing. And why people come here, because it's high level, it's surface level. It's like, yeah, they're all right, but they're never going to win a championship. There's no in between, right? There's no in between.
And I just think like this is a year things could break. The Bucks, I don't trust. I also think like they're old, man. Brook Lopez is a great player, but he's 36.
Yeah.
Dame is 34. Dame is still good, but like you throw OG on Dame or Giannis, Josh Hart on the whoever he's not guarding.
Middleton just got hurt again.
He can't stay healthy. It's tough. He's a hell of a player, but he's never healthy. And then you look at the Sixers, who okay, Buddy Hield is your big move. I mean, he's a good shooter, but I don't think it's enough.
Cooked. No Embiid, they're done. Everything rides on Embiid with them, and they don't even know if he's coming back this year.
I don't want to speak too soon. I think because the Cavs are playing incredible basketball, but we wiped the floor with them last year. Yeah. Donovan Mitchell's an incredible player. Their defense is pretty good, but they're missing something. The matchup with us, I love that matchup.
Yeah.
The Heat always scare me a little bit because there's something about Spo that just scares me. And the Pacers are like a weird wild card because they haven't had a lot of time for Halliburton and Siakam to figure that two-man game. And Halliburton he's close with Jalen as best guard in the East, I think. I think it's a close race. I take Jalen personally because I've seen what he can do. But if you say you take Halliburton, I can't call you crazy. He's had a hell of a year.
Yeah, I can't knock Halliburton. With Cleveland, they're interesting. I just talked about this on Bleacher Report. I got to see how these teams stack up at full strength. The next game that they have against Cleveland is March the 3rd, I believe. That's the last one of the season series. They tied the season series earlier, but I don't know who's going to be available for that. I hope Julius is back for that. Maybe it's OG. But, with Cleveland with their reinforcements and getting Strus, they got Niang. They did get some three-point shooting off the bench. Is that the difference in Sam Morril? Sam Morril is shooting the three-ball.
He can shoot. So. I know. I get tagged every time he has a good game. Sam Morril. I got to meet that guy at some point. Yeah, look, George Niang is a good player, but he's got the body of a woman who's 3 months pregnant. They call him the mini. It's like it's not. He doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
Strus is a nice pickup, though.
I like him.
Strus is
him. He's a scrapper.
He's anyone who comes out of Spo's system. It's like you don't know if you're going to get the Miami Heat version of them, or you're going to because he gets you paid.
Right.
You should go to Miami in a contract year because he will make you look. As long as he plays you.
Yeah.
But man, I think we could beat the Heat this year for sure. I mean, I'm not as scared of them.
We got the shooting now to beat them. Last year we didn't.
Brunson really, I mean, he put on a clinic in that elimination game. Yeah. That was tough to lose that game, but Julius was hurt. I think this would be a great year for Julius to shut up the critics. I think he can do it. I really do. I think when he plays to his strengths and doesn't force those threes and he bulldozes people, he is unlike any player in the league, So we need him healthy.
For sure. Now, the only thing about Julius that I'm nervous about is that, will the shoulder injury force him to start hoisting up those threes because he's a little bit leery of banging in the paint? I think that changes things. That's why, for me, he's every year, and this year's no different, the biggest wild card to their success.
Yeah, it's true, but also I don't think Julius. I think he's just going to have to bulldoze. I think he's a dude who plays through pain. Anyone who Tibbs likes plays through pain. From what I've heard, one of the reasons we didn't make a move for Brogdon is because he doesn't play through pain. He's got to be 100%. Julius, that's all you have to do to appeal to Tibbs is you're like, I'll have half a toe hanging off, but I'll still suit up tonight. That's what Tibbs like. So you get, Hardenstein. This makes me nervous. Every few games he's got a sore Achilles. I'm like, well, let him fucking rest. I don't want,
the I heart thing, man. Yeah.
Because we don't have, and the injuries we're having now are like not even. It's like someone's fucking with us. Where they're like, Jericho Sims has COVID. I'm like, COVID? Are you kidding me? We're getting got by COVID. So that's what's killing me right now. You got really no depth at the big right now. But Bogdanovic, not a good rebounder. So we do. Yeah. Precious has been incredible.
He's been good, man. He's been good. I got to give him credit, man. He's been good.
I was not super high on what he brought to the table the first couple games, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong. He's a killer. He's a great defensive player, and if he can hit that open three too, I'm like, we're like unstoppable.
Yeah. For sure, man. Once again, we're talking to our guy, Sam Morril. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. If you guys want to call us up, man, call us up on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. Let us know your thoughts on the trade. And as we look ahead to the Knicks, man, where do they stand in the East? I see Nate from Brooklyn on the Discord. Nate, are you there on the Discord?
I am here.
Let's go.
First of all, salute to, I don't know, could you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, man. Loud and clear.
Perfect. Salute to UCP, and definitely a shout out to Sam, big fan of yours.
Hey,
by the way, I come here before I go to any other channel, ESPN, First Take, Knicks Fan TV all day.
Salute.
My question is, knowing Tibbs, if everyone is healthy, who's going to be their starting lineup and who's going to be their closing lineup? Rapid fire, love the show. Keep listening.
Appreciate the call, man. Sam, what do you think, man?
I mean, I think you can't mess with the starting five as healthy. I think if everyone's healthy, it's got to be Brunson, Dante, OG, Randle, and either iHeart or Mitch. I think depending on health for both of them. I think they're so good they're almost interchangeable. That was a luxury to have both of them. And then as for the closing minutes, I love that lineup, but there might be a night when you need a sub in Josh Hart rather. Because he's such a good defender. Depends what the vibe of the game is. And then, who knows what Bogdanovic brings. Like maybe he's going to be in some of those closing lineups so we could spread the floor. So I think that's going to be a coaching decision, but you can't mess with the starting five, in my opinion, because of the way Dante's playing.
Yeah, no, starting five is locked. You can't mess with it. I just like the efficiency where you have Dante and OG in the corners. You have Brunson, you have Randle, you have iHeart. You can't mess with that starting five. Leave it as is. I think they could close with that a lot of times. The Hart factor is big because he's one of Tibbs' guys. Like, Hart is his guy. He closes games no matter what. So there could be situations where Dante gets subbed out for Hart. That might have Knicks fans pulling their hair out the way Dante's shooting right now, but it could be those situations because Tibbs likes to get those rebounds and get and play extra defense, get extra defenders out there in crunch time. I do wonder. He talked about when OG got here, the prospect of maybe going with smaller lineups. I do wonder if you could see potentially lineups of like Brunson, Dante, Bogdanovic, OG, and Randle at the five.
Yeah.
If they're playing Miami, if they're playing, if Indiana's going small, or if Milwaukee's going with a Giannis at the five lineup where they're going a little bit smaller. Do the Knicks have that? Does Tibbs want to deploy that type of flexibility or versatility?
I wouldn't see that against the Bucks because of their size when you got Giannis and Brook out there. But you never know. You're right. Against a team like Boston, they got Porzingis, but then you throw a guy like OG on Porzingis, and maybe it gets interesting. Although I get excited.
That's a big X factor, man.
Seeing Bill Simmons sweat at the idea of OG guarding Tatum, I'm like, yeah, dude, I love going into a Celtics series as severe underdogs.
Yeah, it ain't Quentin Grimes guarding him or RJ guarding him no more. Nah, that's not it.
And by the way, I like Quentin Grimes a lot. It sucked to see him go. Yeah. Fournier was such a professional. Like, we got really lucky in our locker room to have guys like Fournier and Derrick Rose who could have gotten big minutes on another team.
Yeah.
And never complained to the media. I mean, it was pretty damn cool.
Never complained, man.
Good culture.
Yeah. Yeah, never complain. Matter of fact, I saluted Fournier today as he saluted New York on his way out. Fournier's first stop when he signed with the Knicks, he moved to New York, came to Knicks Fan TV, man. First stop. Didn't go anywhere else. Came here, chopped it up with us and the fans for like an hour, took calls for the fans, and kept it 1,000 the entire way, man. So I definitely, respect him for that. And, yeah, he takes his talents to Detroit.
Maybe it's better. I mean, you get to put up some points, you get to play a little bit, but it's hard to say it's an upgrade to go to Detroit.
Oof.
Like, that team just sucks.
That's why I kind of feel.
How did Monty Williams get $80 million to coach?
Yeah,
we could get the same result coaching this team. How much worse can you do?
Well, that's what happens when you offer the guy the job and he turns it down the first time.
Yeah,
and then
but also goes
to
show you, like, coaches are like. I don't want to say they're overrated. Like, look, if you have the personnel,
players play,
like,
man.
But, like, how much better do you think Spo would do with this Detroit team? Really, like, it's just not. I don't know. They just don't seem like they're too young right now. I think Cade is good.
Yeah, I think Cade is good. But they're way too young. I feel bad for Grimes, man. I don't know. I hope he ends up somewhere else where he can flourish.
He might. He's a talented guy, though.
Yeah. He is, man. You know, Grimes Hive didn't get that much of a run, but it just is what it is. I think this team is just on a different path right now, and the path to contendership or to contender status is through trade. They're gonna have to trade their way to this thing, man, because you never had a homegrown star develop within the last how many years? Haven't had it, man.
Brunson almost reminds me. I know it's an insane comparison to make, and people are going to kill me for this, but it reminds me a little bit of Iverson, of just like a younger. A lot
of people said that. I've heard that before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he's a small guy. Although this is where I'm taking the leap.
All right.
He's more malleable than Iverson is. Iverson kind of was like, as brilliant a player as Iverson was, it was kind of like it had to go on his terms, kind of. It had to be ball dominant.
It was all about him.
All about him. And I'm not calling him selfish. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
But Brunson could play off ball.
Right.
That's not something you could really do. I mean, this is when people praise Steph Curry, it's like he can kind of bend to the offense. I think Brunson has that ability. Same with a guy like KD. I'm not saying he's there yet. Whatever. I know this is when people are like Knicks fans are crazy, but I'm just saying he has that ability to kind of do what's best for the team, and I don't think every star can do that.
Yeah, no, that's a totally fair point, man. Once again, we're talking to Sam Morril. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. If you guys are on the grind, throw a hashtag grind in the chat. I also see a lot of Fanchise channel members in the chat right now. JJ, what's going on? Wilson Martinez, I see you. Shout out to Flizzy Flex. Eric Garcia in the chat as well. Okay, let's get to the Discord. Dave G, go ahead and unmute your mic. Dave G.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. How you feeling, Dave?
I'm good. I saw you guys were live. I'm off today, so I was like, let me take my chance.
Perfect timing, man.
I like this move. Well, first things first, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you know when we're live.
Yeah, protocol.
Let's do this. I like the move. I'm happy for Fournier. He's very professional. Really appreciate the way that he handled himself. I feel bad for Grimes going to Detroit, but hopefully he gets an opportunity. I still think that he can eventually fit that type of Danny Green role in that shooting guard position.
I think so.
That solid 3-and-D starting shooting guard kind of guy on a winning team. I think that's what he can get to. It's just he wasn't going to have that opportunity here.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's the NBA. It's the NBA. At the end of the day, we basically moved Grimes and a couple second-round picks for two really quality rotational players for this playoff run.
Yeah.
Will we do past that? I'm not quite sure. I personally think I've been thinking about it recently. Everybody talks about Donovan Mitchell. That's who we got our eyes on.
Oh, did we lose him?
I've been going back and all these guys have said about a disgruntled star.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. Who's your guy?
Oh, there we go. I think the disgruntled star, if the playoffs don't go well, it's kind of happened in the past few years. I think he's out in LA, and I don't think it's LeBron James. I wonder if they're going to go back after Paul George. I wonder if we didn't acquire OG Anunoby, because I don't think the front office is wanting to pay OG Anunoby as the second highest player on the team.
Oh, I think
a third option.
Done. I think that deal's already done, man. I think it's done, Dave.
I don't know if they're going to.
His agent is Leon Rose's son. That deal was done for Thanksgiving of last year.
I don't think Paul George is leaving the Clippers because he's an LA guy. He's on a team that is favored by a lot of NBA writers right now to win the championship. They're favored over the Nuggets by a lot of people. Their record is better, I think. But I hear the Sixers talking compare him with Embiid. I don't trust that. That duo to stay healthy. It's like, that's why the Suns got rid of Chris Paul. It's like we can't count on Durant and Paul to be healthy in the postseason.
But if the playoffs don't go well this year for the Clippers again, if they get bounced in the second round, I could see Paul George asking out, and we have the leverage. I could see if with Leon Rose's son being OG's agent, that they talked prior to, like, hey, this is the plan.
Done, man.
Like this summer, we're gonna sign and trade you somewhere for the star, because I don't see the fit of adding a Donovan Mitchell, because that's not what OG wanted. He didn't want a smaller role on a better team. He wanted a bigger role. He wanted to be one of the guys. And so I could see that being the thing, man. I could see a sign and trade being worked out there. I could also see him staying. I'm not saying that. But I think the front office might have their eye on Paul George again, like they did this offseason. If things don't go well in LA, which I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna make the conference finals at the very least, and possibly the finals. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's the guy that the front office has their eyes on, and because I don't see the fit. But he would be a star in New York. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. And appreciate the call, Dave. But what's the difference? Look, they tried to get him 2 years ago. What's changed? Brunson's still here. And they tried to get him when Brunson was here.
I love Donovan Mitchell, but I just don't think the fit makes sense with Brunson. I think the Knicks front office is going ahead of, like, what makes Brunson better? What makes Randle better? That's why you make a move for Dante DiVincenzo, for OJ Anunoby. That these guys service the skill set of our best players. So would Paul George help? Sure. I mean, he's going to slow down defensively a little bit. He's still a great offensive player. He's getting older. I love how Anunoby fits. I think he's got to be a part of the team going forward. And Hart on the floor together remind me, different temperament, but they remind me of the 90s Knicks, like Oakley and Mason and guys that would beat you up. And I love rooting for a team that beats you up. And now that we got some more scoring, I think people overrate the need for stars in the modern NBA. Like the super team thing, like, okay, we'll see if the big three Phoenix works out. I'm not high on it personally. I think they're all great players. I don't think Bradley Beal makes any sense as a supposed point guard. It's not about just attracting big names. That's old Knicks. Let's bring in what fits and then build from there is my hope.
I don't know. I get what everyone's saying fit wise, but I just don't see what's changed in terms of their pursuit for him 2 years ago as compared to what it will look like in the next offseason when they can even pay less. They're going to be paying less. And this is what I mean. Like, they got OG for less. They got Bogdanovic for less. And now when Spider Mitchell goes into the offseason where he's got 1 year left and a player option, and Cleveland's going to go into next season saying, hey, we'll risk it that this guy's just going to opt out and go. I mean, hey, he could certainly get the max bag with them. I'm not going to put it past him. But I just feel like this is where this is going. This is why you got Bogdanovic to guarantee his contract for next season so that you could either trade him in the offseason or trade him next season. You got Spider with leverage now so you can pay less. I just think that's where it's going.
Doesn't a backcourt of Brunson and Donovan, as great as they are offensively, make you a little nervous defensively?
For sure.
Because it reminds me, I'd say better, but not that much better than Dame and McCollum in Portland is what it kind of reminds me of. Both amazing players, but undersized defensively. Jalen's become a very good defensive player. Donovan I don't think you want him on your two when you can have a guy like Dante or Josh Hart or someone else.
No, I get that. It's certainly tricky, but like I think there's going to come a point where you're just going to have to take a gamble on a talent upgrade, man, because I just feel like, yes, you can fit your way there, but at a certain point, that's where the stars got to take over, man. It's like the Heat. A perfect example is the Heat last year, right? They steamrolled the Bucks. You know, they beat us up pretty good. They put the Celtics on the ropes 3-0, and we're like, man, this team is great. They got scrappers and undrafted guys, and they're all coming together. Then they get to the finals, and Jokic and Murray look like they're not even in the same league. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a problem with the Nuggets is, like, when your fourth best player is Aaron Gordon, like, that guy's turned into a stud.
That's what I mean.
And the fact that Michael Porter has turned into not just like a killer all-around player, but like an insane spot-up shooter.
Right.
Like, yeah, they're in my mind, they're still the favorites to win it all this year. I don't know. As good as the Clippers are, like, I could see the Clippers beating them. They're beatable, but I think those are the two teams in the West. Maybe the Suns surprise us. I don't really see it yet. Maybe I also think the Clippers were going to beat the Suns last year if Kawhi didn't go down. Kawhi was getting the best of KD. He's so damn underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. The East is more wide open than the West. I really think it's a two-team race in the West. I think the Thunder are great, but a little young. I think the Mavs made a couple good moves, but I just don't think they're gonna.
No,
I think the Gafford move is kind of interesting though.
I like PJ Washington too for them.
They gave up a lot, but I mean, you got Luka and Kyrie. You got to go for it.
Would you rather, or would you feel better going after Booker? They're gonna go after somebody.
Devin Booker makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That is the sick Knicks fan hope in me, is that, like, I don't wish an injury on anybody.
Yeah.
But say it's like, maybe it's more mental. Maybe KD becomes dissatisfied with Phoenix and is like, I'm not really feeling it. Beal's not really, he's a great player. It's not really fitting the way they wanted to be, like, more of a point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Devin Booker makes total sense. Another Kentucky guy. Dude, you have a big three of Brunson, Booker, and Randle, and an insane defense around him. Yeah, that would be pretty. I think and I like Devin Booker's his energy. He's like he's like an anger to him. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's like a good-looking dude he's a good-looking dude who's like fucked probably way too many Kardashians and is still in a bad mood. That's like a pure hooper to me. A guy who's like, he's still like got an incredible. He shows up in like a vintage car with just like a sick IG model.
School, man.
And he's still dropping 30 and in a bad mood. And like, he's also just, he's what I was saying, like, obviously a premium version of like Michael Porter, like, who's a good all-around player, but the shot, like, Devin Booker can create. He can take the open shot. He's a hell of a player. And he's bigger. He's 6'5".
Building Block says, yo, you're going to be mad when the summer target is Karl Anthony Towns.
It doesn't work for me.
I refuse to see that. I just don't see it, man.
I think Randle's a much better player. That's what pisses me off when I see these trade rumors, Randle for Towns, plus we give up 2 first-rounders, and I'm like, are we watching the same guys?
Yeah.
I know that Towns is a better three-point shooter. That's the only way he's better.
Yeah.
Is he better in any other way? Randle's a better rebounder. He's definitely, I think, tries harder on defense and is more defensively skilled. And I just don't think Towns is he already was coached by Tibbs once, you know? I don't get it other than the spot up shooting. And even that game where he was like trying to score 60 or whatever, 70.
70, yeah.
The way he did it, just like, I'm like, you're trying to have a me game, and I don't like it. If he ends up being a Knick, I will root for any of these guys. I'll find a way to buy him, but I think Randle, like, he's given this city a lot. He's taken a lot of shit from this city.
Yeah.
He just needs one killer playoff performance this year, and everyone's going to buy in. And I think he's ready. But I think it's unfair some of the ways people have beaten him up.
I don't see them trading for Towns. Not Randle. I don't see them trading Julius for Towns. I just have a mental block there. I just don't see that happening.
So then Towns at the 5?
No. I don't see that happening either. That's why I don't see the Towns to the Knicks making much sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes no sense, because what would you do? Trade Mitchell Robinson, and now you have Gobert and Mitchell? Like, there's no trade that really makes sense.
I don't see it, man.
Maybe they just want off his contract because it's such a big contract. I don't know, but I don't see them wanting to get rid of. I think it makes sense for neither team, and unless they get picks, Julius and picks. But
I don't like it. I definitely don't like it, man. Salute to Beach Hill.
But I don't like it.
$10 super chat says from Junior Caroma says, come on, bro. SMH, OG's worth every penny. The guy can easily win Defensive Player of the Year if healthy. The deal is done. OG is untouchable. Okay, so that was for Dave in the on the Discord. That was for Dave on the Discord. Yeah,
I think he's essential. I think we need him on the team.
I think that deal's done, man. There's no way. The way we've seen how Leon Rose and these guys are operating right now. They don't just, throw Hail Marys here on these deals. Yeah, they'll take a risk. A lot have worked out. Some haven't, right? The Cam stuff haven't. Some of the trades, the Fournier acquisition wasn't a good one. It is what it is. Nobody bats 1,000, but they don't just throw Hail Marys, where they're going to trade Emmanuel Quickley and R.J. Barrett for OG Anunoby and not have a promise that he's going to stay long term. They wouldn't do that. There's no way.
And he wanted to be here.
He wanted to be here.
I mean, thank God Indy didn't make a move for him. Can you imagine if Indy got him? Like, God, he's valuable.
Yeah.
I love how he plays. It sucks because we got a taste of how incredible a player he is. And overnight, he became a fan favorite. Can you imagine playing on like a Met team in Toronto? And then you come here and your name is chanted within the first couple of weeks? I'm like, God, this guy is special. And I agree. Man. Defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
We were lucky to sit through a Tyson Chandler defensive player of the year season.
Yeah.
I think OG could be even more dominant because he can guard 1 through 5.
For sure, man. I think that's a done deal. Once again, we're talking to Sam Morril. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, man, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Now, we talked about Dallas. You're in Dallas this weekend. Tell the fans what you got going on, man. We might have some people in Dallas that might want to pull up tonight.
The shows are sold out, man. I'm doing some club. Yeah, I'm doing clubs just to gear up for taping another special. This one's going to be on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm taping next month, and then I'm doing the improv here. And while I'm in town, I figured the Mavs are playing the Thunder, so I'll do some intel. I'll watch the bad guys. Just a fun game to check out. I never really check. I can never really check out games on the road because I do shows at night. There's rarely a Saturday 2 p.m. game, so.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like OKC, young scrappy team. I would like to see them live. I want to see them when they come play the Knicks. I'd like to go to that game later on this year. Definitely.
They're just so he did a great job, that GM.
Stacked.
They're just stacked. Yeah. And that Hayward move is, if he's healthy, he's a great locker room guy. Like, he was a dude I heard rumored to us, and it was another like classic like. It doesn't make sense for us because we're depleted. And can you count on him? But that's a dude that will like just play D, hit open shots, make the right pass.
Yeah.
There was like a weird kind of vibe, I think. There was like a weird kind of all lives matter vibe there. But other than that, he is a hell of a player. And OKC is like, they'll embrace that attitude.
Yeah.
So I'm actually there next week. I'm in OKC next week for the All-Star break.
Oh,
but
there you go.
That's a hell of a team, man. I really respect. Lou Dort is so fun to root for.
Yeah.
A kid like that getting paid is so fun to see at defensive first. So, yeah, I like how they're building that.
Likewise, man. Shout out to Anna Silva in the chat. Says, I'm a big fan of Sam. You're awesome. So shout out to Anna Silva.
Thank you.
In the chat. We got some Sam Morril fans in the building here. And you guys have seen Sam, when you watch it on MSG on the League Pass, man, he's always in Celebrity Row. The camera's always on Sam, man.
I'm the least famous dude on Celebrity Row, but I play their venues. I sell some tickets in their venues, so they hook it up sometimes. I try not to ask a lot because I am aware when I look to my left and I'm like, oh, that's John Turturro. I shouldn't be here. But. They've been cool to me.
Yeah. But what's your outside of the game? Like, what's your thing to do when you get to MSG? Is there a thing that you go to, like when you get to the game, like you have to do certain things, XYZ?
I just need to be there. I want to be there for warm ups. I want to be there. I don't want to miss a second of the third. Some people take their time getting back in the third. I don't like missing any of the games. Yeah. So, that's one thing. Usually like a vodka soda or something.
Okay.
Just have like a kind of a lighter drink.
Yeah.
And maybe a whiskey soda.
All right.
And I don't have a routine other than like I do yell at refs. I yelled at Tony Brothers gave me the dirtiest look the other day. He made a bet. He's got that funny face too. He's got that kind of like serious face. But they were playing the Rockets and there was a horrible call on Isaiah Hardenstein. I was like, "Oh, you're the worst!" And he turned it. He just looked at me and gave me this look like. He's a funny dude. He's like a ref. You could tell, like knows. He's like aware of what he's doing.
He's very aware.
I like that guy.
Aware.
Yeah, and my routine is really just like just remember, I'm in the best building in basketball. There's no arena like MSG.
None.
It's the best.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Barclays, because I root for the Liberty, so I'll go to Liberty games.
Yeah. Okay.
But MSG is just on another level. There's no, and it's not even disrespect. It's like, this is the best building in basketball.
Yeah.
You got the best fans in the world, from the 400s to the court side. Like, these are the best fans in all basketball. And we deserve this team. We've been hungry for it. We sat through the lean years so we could have this team. And I mean, Jalen Brunson is, I think, the best thing that could have happened to the Knicks. It's incredible. Like, we need. I was trying to think who's the best Knick point guard of my lifetime, and it's without a doubt him. But then before him, but Marbury had a couple good years. It just wasn't the right team.
Yeah.
Derek Harper was a great, not at the talent level. He was at the downswing of his career, but he was still a great point guard. I mean, he played incredible D. He would get those steals.
Yeah, Harper was my guy for sure. For sure.
But I'm 37, so I missed Mark Jackson. I didn't get to really see.
Me too.
I was a little too young for that, but Harper was like my first point guard for the Knicks, and he was a hell of a player, man.
Harper was my guy. Big time friend of the program. He always comes on our show. He supports us. So
I love that.
Yeah. We rock with Harper heavy here. I would say, before Brunson was definitely Marbury. I was a big Marbury guy from Lincoln High School days all the way through. So there was a dark cloud over the organization, man. We don't got to, recap every event, but there was a dark cloud over this organization that unfortunately did not allow him to succeed here. But who was, you mentioned Ronaldo Balkman early in the show. So we always, crack on each other on the show about hives. People get on me because I'm Burks' hive. So when the trade happened, all the memes and everything was about me. We've had Frank Ntilikina hives. Frank just got his walking papers today.
Oh man, I was covering the draft. I was covering the draft for MSG. I had a little rinky-dink show on MSG for a minute, and I covered that draft. So I was at Walt Frazier's Clyde's Wine and Dine.
Yeah.
And I was covering it, and Rashad McCants, remember that guy?
Yes, of course.
He's there. Yeah. I'm like kind of surprised they took Ntilikina, but I'm like, all right, he's our guy. I'm in. You know, whatever. Like, I remember them booing Porzingis. You don't do that. You accept who they draft and you get behind him, because it's enough pressure to be in New York. So I was like, all right, he's our guy. And McCann starts pointing and laughing at me. He's like, this idiot thing. He goes, that guy's the worst player in the draft. And then he starts going, he goes, Dennis Smith and Malik Monk Jr. are still around. And he's like, they're the two best players in the draft, which they're not, but they're both. Malik Monk's turned out to have a pretty good career.
He has.
And Dennis Smith has improved a lot.
Sure, for sure.
But yeah, that was a tough one. I think Donovan Mitchell was in that draft, wasn't he?
Donovan Mitchell was absolutely in that draft. I was at the theater in that draft. It was a very depressing night, man. Very depressing.
That was tough. That would have been nice. But then we also I met Donovan Mitchell once. He was at the Cellar. He's the Comedy Cellar. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he's a fan of a buddy of mine, Ian Lara. So he was at the show.
There you go.
But he was not only nice, but everyone in his circle was very nice. I'm like, that's you could tell he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So I like that energy. But yeah, of course, I was high on Kevin Knox at first. I thought he was going to be – I really thought he was going to be Jason Tatum after Summer League.
Well, after they passed up on Mikal Bridges, I was hoping he would be. I was like, he better be the next Paul George for passed up on Mikal Bridges. It was right there.
The only way it could have been worse is if we picked Miles Bridges after him. That would be the only worst pick in that draft. But Gilgeous Alexander's in it worked out. There were some incredible players. Michael Porter Jr. But he had the back issues. You always got to be paranoid. It worked out. Good for him, but that made me nervous. A big guy with back issues. Dwight was never the same.
And remember, at that time, Porzingis was still recovering from the ACL. So I was like, we can't have all these injured guys, man. You were at that game.
I was at that game with my boy Stavros, who he's a Knicks fan, but he's also Greek, so he's obsessed with Giannis.
Okay.
So that was at that game, and he's in a Knicks jacket with a Giannis high school jersey underneath. And I'm like, all right, whatever, fine. You want to play both sides. But Porzingis was down. He was cooking Giannis that game, and then he just went down. And I know Michael Che from like my early days of stand-up. He's at the game, and I broke the news to him. Someone told me he's out for the season. I remember I broke the news to him that he was out for the for the year with an ACL. And Shea was like, man, he was like, don't talk to me. He was like really mad at me. And then he like kind of he's like, all right, let's go get drunk. So we got wasted in like Midtown, and we were so sad. It was just like it was like the most morose night ever.
But I mean, even that game, Porzingis was beasting there in that stretch. Remember that?
He was getting MVP chance.
He was killing it.
He was a dude that I think regrets asking out.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
he didn't want to be here at the moment, but yeah, that was pre-Leon. That was a bad trade.
Yeah.
That was the one that haunts us.
Yeah.
But it doesn't haunt us because we got off Tim Hardaway's terrible contract and
terrible.
And we freed up space to sign Julius Randle. And I like Julius over KP on this team. I'm a Julius believer. I know a lot of people are hard on him, but like when it's clicking, man, and we're playing right, there's something about this team that is so unselfish, and he's a guy that will get you 5 or 6 assists. So that's what I like about him.
I hear that, man. Absolutely. So what do you think, man, as we look towards the second half of the season? If all goes well, what are you thinking, man? What's the ceiling for this team right now?
The ceiling is, I think we can make the championship right now. And then once you're in the championship, like, are we favored over the Nuggets or the Clippers? Of course not. Look at they've got guys who have won before, you know? I mean, technically OG has won before, but he wasn't in the finals, whatever. Yeah. But, you know, like we're going against a finals MVP in Kawhi or Jokic, right? So you have to say that they're favored. Is it likely we'll make the finals? I don't know. It's like injuries play a role. I don't know why I feel good about a matchup against Boston. I know their perimeter defense is one of the best I've ever seen, and White and Holiday, and they're both incredible. But like, I don't think there's an answer for Brunson. I'm sick of hearing people say like he's small, he'll get exposed in the playoffs. Really? He didn't last year.
No.
So why is he going to get exposed all of a sudden when he's taking another leap? I think the issue is, will the guys around him hit the open shots? And I think they will now that we have the weapons. So with our defense, and I don't think you need a guy who's a great ISO player. We have them, obviously, but I think you need, like, sure, you could say the Celtics have more of those guys. But that being said, like, our defense is pretty damn good. Will Porzingis be healthy? That's a question mark. He has had issues with health.
Right.
Look, they have Horford, who, like, this guy, I don't know how the hell this guy won't just go away. For years, I'm like, just go away.
He's washed. For years, I'm saying that, and he keeps coming back, man.
He's had an incredible career, that guy.
Yeah.
So Jalen Brown hasn't brought in the playoff. Tatum sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. Look, Tatum's an incredible player. I'm not taking anything away from them. They are the toughest team in the East, for sure. Mm-hmm. We will be underdogs. But, man, if you're the Celtics, you don't want to play us if we're healthy. Like, you don't want to go against OG and Josh and Jalen and Randle. Randle, who's going to guard Randle? Is it going to be Tatum or Brown? So he's going to bulldoze you every play. Then I think you play a little more heart on Porzingis just because, so we can stay on the perimeter a little more.
Yeah. That's one of the weaknesses of Mitch. You know, even if Mitch does come back, that Porzingis matchup it's just not good for him.
He'll beat him up on offensive boards, but you're right. It's guarding him, and those threes will kill us. So I think that's where Hardenstein could make a big difference. Even a guy like Precious could be interesting against Porzingis, just how physical he is.
Yeah.
And then, look, they have two incredible perimeter defensive. Like, I was trying to think, is there a better perimeter defensive backcourt? And I'm like, I'm going back to like Kobe and Derek Fisher. I can't think of
Drew Holiday and Derek White.
They're both phenomenal defensive players.
Best in the league.
It's scary how good they are. So that worries me, but I think they're worried too, and it's a good sign. Look, Miami always scares me. I think we're the better team. Every team could beat us, but I just believe in Brunson. Like, this dude is a big game player, and we've, as great as that Melo team was, that 54-win team was, we weren't built for the playoffs. I mean, Jason Kidd broke down. He was like 40 and coming off like 3 DUIs. And, and Rasheed Wallace was incredible for the first half of the season, but like, he broke down. We had like Camby and Kurt Thomas. And like, these dudes, man. This isn't built for a run, you know? And
we
were playing and we hadn't played against power forward against David West, which
David
I'm like,
West
this isn't fair
us.
to Melo.
He killed us, man.
Well, it's not a fair matchup for Melo because he's a stretch forward. And David West was like a 1980s just tough guy.
Yeah.
This team, we can throw more matchups at you. We're deep. The hope is, as you said, Randle's health. Like, can Randle be okay for the playoffs? He's, I think, really the secret weapon because
wild card.
Because if he gives you what we know he can give you, what us Knicks fans, it's a roller coaster rooting for Randle because it's almost like the J.R. Smith stuff where sometimes he takes shots where like, why are you taking that? But the good he brings outweighs the bad, and he is a seemingly really good guy too. From what I hear, like a good teammate and a good guy, and I'm grateful for him for turning the team around. He's responsible for the turnaround and the culture and for buying into Tibbs and being that leader. So with Randle and Brunson and OG, I think we could. I'm giving you the most long-winded answer ever, but
Let's go.
I think the finals. I think we can make the finals.
Go.
That's our ceiling. And then when you're in the finals, we'll see.
Anything is possible, man. It's my guy Sam Morril. Listen, man. You made your Knicks Fan TV debut. You got to come back, man. You got to jump into the Discord.
I will. I'm in now. I'm in. I can talk Knicks with you all day.
All day, man.
An honor to be on the Knicks Fan TV show.
Absolutely, man. Well, keep doing your thing. Good luck in Dallas. And then as you head to OKC, good luck with the new project with Amazon Prime. Just let the people know, where they can find you, any current projects. Let the people know, man.
Just working on some stuff, stand up always. I'm honing the new special, so that'll be out in a few months probably. And then, just always working on stuff. So you'll see. It'll come out soon.
All right, no doubt, man. Well, listen, man, when you're in the NYC area, we either got to hit a game or you got to come to a KFTV watch party. Well, let's definitely do it, man. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, man. Sam Morril on the check-in. Thank you, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that show. Another matinee edition of KFTV Live, man, presented by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys go to UnderdogFantasy.com and use our code KFTV for a first-time deposit match of up to $100. And then also support our sponsors, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, fellas. Use our code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Go get that lawnmower 4.0. You guys know what it is, man. So anyway, that was fun. I just did Bleacher Report earlier. Just did this show with Sam today. We're going to get it up on the podcast. Salute to the replay gang if you guys missed the live show. Tonight at around 11 o'clock, I'll be on Honda Sports Night on SNY. Hey, man, we keep it rocking. And then tomorrow we got Knicks Play-by-Play Live hosted by JD Sports Talk and Knicks Postgame Live, Knicks versus Pacers. So you guys know what it is, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans is on and popping. Make sure that you guys support us, man. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Let me salute some super chats that came in. Ghost Dog LT, $5 super chats. Says Tam is a top comedian. Love the guest. Junior Karoma got that. Nick Cooper, $10 super chat, says, do you guys think Kyle Lowry's an option for the buyout market? No, I know we just got Burks. We might need another player to create for others. I think Kyle Lowry's a option for the retirement market. It's time to hang it up. I think he's washed. But, hey, Knicks have the cap space to go get him. I think he goes to Philadelphia, but, I wouldn't hate it, but I think he's pretty cooked. Shout out to Travis Knowledge, $5 super chat. So what do you think about PJ Tucker signing? He's nothing out. He's a good tweener that can guard 2, 4, and 5 some nights, so we think he'll consider us. I think PJ's done his days, man. Honestly, I think I'd move on. Those guys are too old. I think PJ Tucker's his value as that 3-and-D versatile guy. I think that ship has sailed as well. Hit up Kyle Lowry, man, and see what's good with the paperwork. Sign that paperwork up. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. CP the Fanchise. We out of here, man. Peace.